Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to get this clutch and flywheel assembly off of this engine because what we have to do today is get prepped. Prepped to tear everything off, have it stripped down, and start the rebuild of everything. We're going to do rod bearings, refresh the accessories, repaint some stuff, replace a bunch of things. All of that we will get to throughout the course of this video. So let's go. So here we're going to knock loose the timing sprockets on the cam, the injection pump, the intermediate shaft, get the belt off, and pretty much get ready to take off this engine plate, pull the head, and all the other fun stuff that we have to get out of our way. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that we got that taken care of, all the accessories are off, and we've got this engine block looking great, wearing a fresh coat of satin black paint. I guess now would be a good time for us to start putting this thing back together. So let's go ahead and throw the water pump assembly back on. We went with a brand new water pump and housing, cleaned up the bolts a little bit, and we're going to slap that back together now. Cool, so let's go ahead and replace the intermediate shaft O-ring and seal, get that tightened back up, and now we're going to work on tightening the rods down. So what we did was replace the rod bearings with another set of OE bearings. They all felt great, but obviously since we had it apart, we had to replace the rod bolts. Since they are torque to yield, they are one-time use, so that's what we're going to do here. Get everything torqued, paint markered, ready to go. With the rods torqued, let's slap this oil pan back on now that it's clean. New gasket, put the bolts in, and get this all torqued to spec. With the engine upright again, we are going to go ahead and make sure all our threads are clean. And we are going to go ahead and install our ARP head stud kit. So let's go ahead and get the ARP head studs, lube up the threads, and start installing. Alright, now let's go ahead and get this cylinder head reassembled. It is fresh from the machine shop. Had the head cleaned up a little bit. Obviously everything's been sandblasted and cleaned. We got the valve slapped. No valves were replaced, but we did have to put new guides and new seals in this. So we're going to pop the springs, the retainers, the keepers back in, and finally lube everything up and grab the camshaft and replace it, get everything tightened down, and pretty much get it ready to slap back onto the engine block and get this head sealed up, which will be awesome. With the studs in and the head gasket in place, we can set it to TDC for cylinder 1 and install the head. Just like that, we'll get the head on, we'll check the torque specs from ARP, and we'll get this cranked down to 125 pound-foot in 3 even steps. At this point, we can start putting the accessories back on the engine. We're still waiting for the injection pump and the injectors to come back from Giles up in Canada, performancediesel.ca. That'll be back soon, but as you can see, the accessories are looking good. We had the alternator rebuilt, sandblasted, so that looks great. The water pump was already on, new AC compressor, and we're ready to rock and roll here pretty much. So from here we'll be able to start putting the sprockets back on, and as it so happens I'll have to take them back off later, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Stay tuned, this is just a short build update. I do have a lot of footage to go through, and we've made quite a bit of progress since this was filmed, but hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.